All right, hello and welcome to another episode of the SJSU Online Spotlight Series, where you'll learn about our valuable, affordable, and flexible opportunities to complete your bachelor's degree 100% online at one of the most transformative universities in the United States. Today, we're joined by SJSU librarian Bernd who's going to discuss the value of our SJSU MLK Junior Library for online students. So, Bernd, really looking forward to having this conversation with you today. Before we get into the topic itself, I was wondering if you can introduce yourself to our viewers just by sharing maybe a few significant moments from your lived experiences that really shaped who you are and led you into your current role at SJSU.
Great. Yeah. Brian, thanks for having me and taking the time. My name is Bernd Becker. I'm one of about 25 librarians at San Jose State University. I've been here for almost going on 15 years. So I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of students come and go. I'm actually a graduate student of the library science program at the iSchool at San Jose State. So I received my master's at San Jose State as well. And actually, becoming a librarian was never on my radar. It's just sort of something I fell into, and and then I learned that San Jose State has one of the largest library and information science programs. But returning to school, I had been out for about 8 or 9 years at that point. So I can relate to some of the fear and anxiety about returning to school, especially after there's been a multi-year break. And then as a student, I experienced the shift from in-person classes to online only. So I understand sort of the challenges and maybe again some of the hesitations or questions that surround that new kind of modality for higher education. I am what we call a liaison librarian. So at San Jose State, every subject area, every discipline has a librarian who's a specialist in the library research in that area. And that's important because so many of the different disciplines and majors have research resources really specific and particular to that discipline, to that focus or topic. And not one person or just not a few librarians can become efficient and really master all of those tools. So that's why we have librarians for different subject areas. And for example, for the degree programs in SJSU Online, there are librarians who are the liaisons and who are there to support the students and the research needs in those different degree programs. And then also for the last several years, I've been an online instructor in the library and information science program, which has really given me some insight into both sides of the online education, online classroom, online learning experience. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's been, like I said, going on about 15 years and hopefully another 15.
That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing a little bit about your background and how you, the path that you went on, the journey that you went on to end up not just being a graduate of SJSU, but an SJSU librarian and also someone who's teaching classes at SJSU too. You kind of hit the trifecta there. Can definitely relate to your background too. Similarly, I've been working in higher ed for 15 years and started out in one area and then, over time and now supporting SJSU Online. But it was really great just to hear about specifically your experiences and how relatable they are to so many of our students who are maybe away from school for a while, like you talked about, who are learning how to transition from an in-person program to an online program and trying to navigate all of that, and how you're able to really draw upon those experiences and then your online teaching experiences as well to really think about how to best support our students as they're completing their degrees online. And you started to go into this a little bit, talking about the SJSU MLK Junior Library and kind of what it's all about, what services it has available. What are the primary types of support services that are available for SJSU Online students?
It's an incredible amount. So we were already at the library was already well situated to provide a lot of services online. But then since 2020, the pandemic and the physical building shut down, we've really developed our ability to reach and support students in a fully online environment. So some of those things include, we have live online chat. So when a student is on a library's website, let's say searching the catalog and not sure what to do or where to go or how to use something, a chat window pops up and you can immediately begin a dialogue and with a librarian on the other side. Some people choose to just email the librarians directly. So we have forms online on our website where students can just fill out their information, the question that they have. It becomes a ticket and comes to all the librarians, and someone will get back to you with whatever, hopefully with whatever you might need. We have online research guides. So as I kind of hinted at earlier, there's SJSU currently has about subscriptions to about 450, 475 online databases. These are the tools that have the research, the articles, the resources that students need when they're carrying out their library research. Because there's so many, and because we're able to have a librarian for every subject area, librarians have created these online research guides. So they're great starting spots for beginning your research. We have tips, tutorials, links to all the relevant databases and resources. So there's this online support system kind of built into the library's website. Then there's embedded librarians. For example, I'm working with the SJSU online program. I'm not necessarily a liaison, a subject expert in the different degree tracks in SJSU Online, but you'll see me in the Canvas course. So there's a library page in the SJSU Online modules, and I developed that library page in Canvas. So I have links to all the resources and specifically to the ones supporting these different programs. I'm also available, anyone can reach out to me through that system. And if I can't answer the question, I'll make sure that they get in touch with the librarian that can. We have just on and on. We have interlibrary loan. So we realize that there are situations where the students aren't able to make it to the campus themselves. We have a loaning system that you can work with the librarian to learn more about, where we can send the books to you through mail, not just email. But we also have a huge array of online resources like ebooks. Our ebook collection is expanding at an enormous rate. And it turns out I don't want to ever discourage someone from visiting the library, but the truth is, since the pandemic, we've really been able to create a research and library experience where pretty much almost everything that you'll need, you'll be able to access online. And there is a lot. We also have online tutorials. We realize that you can't always meet one-on-one with us. So we have these tutorials kind of walking you through the steps and sort of the research process for these different resources. And then, talking about support services, the librarians themselves. So the librarians are a support system, and sometimes I think people don't realize or don't necessarily think about a librarian as someone to reach out to for, individual one-on-one help. But that's how our liaison system works. So the librarians themselves, we want to hear from you. We are here to help you. And when I think of support systems that are in place, the librarians themselves are one of those support systems.
Yeah, I mean, all that just sounds so valuable for all students, but I think especially for our SJSU Online students who are living in various places. They are juggling so many different things. Many of them are working, caring for children, and they're trying to complete their degree at the same time. So it just sounds like you said, you are already going in this direction anyway as the library as a whole, but really just being a lot more flexible in terms of how students can connect with the library, how they can request support, the on-demand resources, having the curated library guides, all those things just make it really beneficial and really valuable as people are trying to go through their academic journey, get their degree, and be able to leverage that to move forward with their lives. Now, I was wondering if we can zoom in a little bit more on the working with a librarian specifically experience, just where you left off. And can you talk a little bit more about what that's like from the student side, what the experience might be like for them requesting support from a librarian? And do you have an example or a story that highlights the benefits of that?
Yeah, I do. So that's, I was really happy to see that question and that prompt. So as I mentioned, it's been about 15 years. So I've got a couple experiences under my belt. But I've noticed there's a lot of commonalities as well. And I think, the experience for a student, it starts with reaching out. And you have to reach out to us. We can't seek you out. We can't find you if you don't reach out. And I think, I believe that there's some hesitancy sometimes initially with students reaching out, to someone that they don't know, asking questions that they don't know the answers to. Maybe they feel overwhelmed. So I do see that a lot when I'm working with students. The experience, something I've seen comes in through an email. Hi, this might be a dumb question, but, or I'm sorry to bother you, but I need help with. And that we want to encourage people to just know that we want you to reach out to us. We're the librarians. You're not bothering us. There aren't any stupid questions. We all understand that library research can be overwhelming, especially in today's online environment. I mean, so much stuff is digitized. There's so much online information, so much stuff going around that it is overwhelming. And the experience starts with just kind of getting through that hesitancy, getting through that feeling of like you don't know what you're doing, and reaching out. And I would say this is especially true for students that are online only, because we're not going to run into you face to face on campus or in the library. If you don't reach out to us, we can't connect with you online either. So when you do reach out to us, when you reach out to a librarian, you can just say, "Hi, I'm an SJSU online student. I have research question in this. I need help researching this topic. I have an assignment that requires me to find these things." So it really, the experience starts with just reaching out. Something I've continually heard when I'm working with students, sort of like when we're wrapping up, it's that they say, "I didn't know I could get help like this," or "I never thought of reaching out to the librarian," or "I didn't know that I could kind of get this type of one-on-one help." So I do hear that a lot. I just don't think that people initially think of librarians as a support resource. So SJSU has a counseling department, CAPS. So just like students can go to the counselors for help with their internal personal needs, you can go to librarians and get help with those library research needs. So the way it might play out, sometimes we can just knock out any problems back and forth over email, right? So we have the ability to provide screenshots. We can make quick tutorials for you when you reach out. And we'll provide you with steps, maybe some overviews, some tips and tricks, some best practices. Or sometimes we're more than happy to meet with you via Zoom, so we can have one-on-one sessions. And what that looks like, we'll schedule a time. We'll meet on Zoom. I'll share my screen and walk you through the process or some of the steps, or help you get a better grasp of some of these resources that you're going to need. Sometimes people just reach out to us just because they don't know how to start, right? And we can work with you on that. Another experience that I have is making sure students know I don't know everything, right? If you're coming to me with a topic, you probably know more about your topic than I do. Librarians know a lot about the resources that have the information on that topic. So the experience is also kind of learning from one another. A lot of how I've gained some of my topic specialty is working with students one-on-one. So they come to me with these research problems or these topics that I'll let them know. I don't know that. I don't know a lot about this topic, but let's explore it together. I'll show you how I would approach this. So it's there's a lot of collaboration when a student meets with a librarian. Hopefully, it's a welcoming environment. Again, I keep coming back to this. So many times, students will say, "I didn't know I could reach out," or "I was nervous," or "I was scared," or "I felt dumb reaching out for help." And please, if you ever have that thought, just kind of toss it to the side and reach out for help. If you don't want to reach out individually, there's also, like I said, the library's site has chat windows that pop up, so you could just anonymously reach out and ask for help in that way. And some of the things that you'll see when we're working together, we'll go through our SJSU's online catalog. It's an incredibly powerful library catalog where, sometimes I'll walk you through just how to make the most of that, how to search that more efficiently. Coming across one stop, you can find books, media, newspaper articles, research articles, just in one spot within the library's website. And again, it's all completely online. Tons and tons of resources out there for these online students.
Yeah, it's amazing. I really appreciate you just sharing a lot more about that background and sharing some of the anecdotes, because that's real. I think like you summarized there, a lot of times we don't know what we don't know, and just trying to reach out for help, or not even, feeling certain of like what to ask for, what type of help to ask for, or what question to ask. You might feel maybe a little bit of shame or embarrassment, or, not feeling confident or things like that. But I think just like you demonstrated, you and the library are just such a valuable resource. We're just starting out by reaching out for help. That can lead to then figuring out, what type of support is needed, what type of resources are needed, and bringing their subject, their expertise in their particular topic or their discipline, like you said, with your subject knowledge and your knowledge of the SJSU library and its resources together, can be a really mutual beneficial partnership and relationship. So that's awesome. I think just to wrap up for today, I was wondering if there's any other hidden gems that it might be helpful for SJSU online students to know about, where they can really maximize their use of the library.
Yeah. I was trying to sort of, there's a long list of them. I mean, the library itself is an incredible building. And I realize not everybody will be able to make it to the physical building itself, but hopefully during your time in the programs, you can make it at least once if possible. And you'll be able to see, we have an incredible center called AACNA, the Africana, Asian American, Chicano, Native American Studies Center. We have an absolute amazing special collections and archives, and a lot of the resources within those centers are available through our website. So we have digital representations. We have tons of art. We have a lot of galleries and exhibits, and we're making those available online as well. Just takes a little bit of exploring, on the library's website, but you'll also be able to see them in person as well if you can make it to the library. We also have the Center for Steinbeck Studies, the Center for Beethoven Studies. These are small libraries and museums dedicated to Steinbeck and Beethoven and their life and their works. We also have virtual reality labs. We have sound recording studios, 3D printing and maker spaces. So not all of those things have an online component, but definitely worth exploring to see what you can experience from those different aspects and branches of the librry.
Well, that's really cool. I'll go ahead. Sorry. Go for it.
Say, just wrapping up, and without trying to sound too corny, I would also say, in terms of the gems of support in the library, it's going to be the staff and the librarians themselves. I mean, there's a lot of people that you're not going to see, especially online, right? A lot of people working behind the scenes, but I can attest that after 15 years, I've seen everybody in every department at the library is really dedicated to the student support, student success. We want to see you graduate. We want to help you through that path. So, there's gems that you're not going to see, and I would say that's the people, right? The library is more than just its online component, or these four walls. Students have just a large group at the library who are working for your success. And again, you have to reach out. You have to initiate that, because we can't find you. We can't help you if you don't ask.
Yeah, it's awesome. I appreciate you just highlighting some of the other gems available at the library. The special collections, the different research centers, academic centers, because I think that helps people just think beyond, typically what people would imagine for a library, right? Working with a librarian, maybe, doing some research, checking out some books, things of that nature. But there's so much more that, students can utilize, whether in person or online, to really just maximize their utilization of it. But I really like the point that you ended on, and just really thinking about it's the people that really can provide that extra level of support and help everyone really, make the most of the opportunity that we have available here. And that's why we wanted to shine a spotlight on you and the work that you're doing to help support SJSU Online students as they're navigating their experience and completing their degree online with us. So thank you so much for, just taking the time to share a little bit more about your role and the SJSU MLK Junior Library. Thank you to our viewers for watching. As always, you can visit our SJSU Online website to learn more about our programs, and we will see you in the next live stream. Bye, everyone.